So hey guys, welcome back to Dare I Ask My Mom, episode 2. And the timing couldn't be better, as exams are literally right around the corner. Like exams start on Monday, and today is Saturday. And I could be doing anything right now. I could be watching my favorite TV show, eating Maggie, or doing anything else. But my mom says that exams are mini battles that you have to face before the real game starts. So here we are preparing for exams. And I want to know how my mom can crack exams. Because she is so good at studying. So here you go.
So hi guys, I am Ujasvi, mom to the podcast kid, and we are here to talk about exams, all things exams. And how do I know so much about doing well in exams? Well, my mom has been a teacher for 32 years, and she, being a mother and a teacher to me, has really made me do well in exams for almost throughout my education. And I am sharing a few cheat codes with you and with someone new because his exams are right around the corner and I really want him to do well. So let's start.
So, what do you think are the three most important things I should follow during an examination?
Well, there are a lot of things, and to just tell you three, well, let me think. I think the first and the most important thing is obviously knowledge. You should know about the topic that you are attempting in the examination. If you don't know it, you can't do it. So for that, you have to study well so that you know the topics well. Even if you have not studied rigorously, you should basically know what the topic is all about, right? So first is knowledge. Knowledge. Second, and I think that's the most important one because most of the times I rely on this one, and that is attempting the paper. How you are representing your answer is so important. Even if you know the right answer and you're not able to portray your answer in a way that the examiner gets to understand that you know the answer, then the answer that you have written is of no use, Even if you know the entire answer and you're not able to put those things to words, then it is of no use. So how you attempt it is very important. And last, I think completion. Even if you know everything, you attempt well and you are not able to complete your exam, you lose marks. Basically, if the examination is for 100 marks and you have only attempted 80% of it, you've already lost the 20 marks. Though it is not all about marks, we have to be politically correct on this. But yes, you have to try and attempt the entire paper, so your chances of scoring a good number is there. And third is obviously completion. Completing the exam is equally important because even if you have the knowledge, you are attempting well. If you have not completed your exam, you're going to lose marks because if the paper is for 100 marks and you have only attempted say 80, 20% marks are already gone. So your confidence will go down that I have not completed the paper. So time management is very, very important. Okay. So the three things: knowledge, attempting, and completion.
So, knowledge, attempting the paper, and completing it. Basic. But what about the panic attacks that I get during the paper? You've never experienced those. You were a topper. What about me?
Even if I was a topper, these things were there. But yeah, the name was not there, panic attacks. I mean, that was never there. Yes, of course, while you're reading the question paper, you get an idea ki I know this part, I don't know this part, and you get this feeling that ये तो मुझे नहीं आता, इतने सारे questions मुझे आते हैं, ये वाला question मुझे नहीं आता. You get that feeling, and it actually affects your way of writing the paper. But what I'll suggest you is, please understand, there's never going to be a day where you know all the answers. Be prepared. If you know 100, even if you know 100% of the answers, it will not matter if you have not completed the paper, if you have not written with a calm mind. Like for example, in your last weekly test, whereby you already knew the answer, but yet you were not able to write the right points. Why? Because the question was clear, the answer was ready, but you were not able to put your answer into words. So what you have to focus is, whenever there is a feeling of fear or panic in your mind, take 5 seconds, talk to yourself. That's what I always did. Topper, that's what I always did. I always talked back to myself like, it's okay, I can do well. I mean, I know the answer, I can do well. Take deep breaths, count, okay, fine. Like, do a counting, or take a sip of water or something like that. Do something to break that chain of fear, of panic. That helps. And there is nothing called panic attacks. Don't use that word.
Well, I do panic when I'm reading the question paper. Like, I didn't study this.
So there's so many kids around you, your friends, your classmates. They're also reading the same question paper. They're also getting the same feeling. If you know 70 to 80% of the answers, you will be able to do well, because teachers are also human. So when you start doing your paper and you are doing well, the teacher gets an idea that this kid knows the answer. So you get some sympathy marks also.
You were a topper in your college and your school. So, tell me the truth. What were your secrets that made you get such good marks?
Secrets, okay. Well, they are secrets for a reason. But yeah, I can share it with all you guys. Secrets. See, understand. When it's a language paper, there are no secrets, because languages have rules. You cannot play around that. Grammar and everything has rules, so have to follow the rules. But the secret is, whenever you are attempting a language paper, if you're doing well in the grammar portion, the teacher gets an idea that you know the language. See, chapters and novels that you guys are doing these days, they have a particular text. So every child will frame the answer differently. Like, you will answer differently, your friend will answer differently, and the teacher may or may not like your answer or the other person's answer. So yeah, there is a difference. But when it comes to grammar, it is very important that you score well in grammar. Basic, like for example, in English, if nouns, verbs, tenses, punctuation, all these things are very important. That sets a tone for the teacher to understand you as a student. Okay. And when it comes to other exams like science, social science, EVS, subjects like these, you have to understand, you have the power of creating flowcharts and small diagrams for almost all the answers. So I made sure that whenever there's an answer like tell me something about a balanced diet or ways of eating right. You have a chapter, right? Eating right. Yeah. So if a question comes from that chapter, that how do you make sure that you eat right? So first of all, don't write the answer in a paragraph. Paragraphs are not a good way to, frame your answer when it comes to social science and science. Why? Because you can easily do pointers like eat a balanced diet, don't eat out, don't eat junk food, wash your hands properly, cover your food, such small things. Eat nutrients, of course. Roughages.
Minerals.
Oh, thank God he knows science. So, for that, you can also make a small flowchart or a diagram on the side of the answer. Like balanced diet, number 1, wash your hands, number 2, eat nutrient filled diet, number 3, don't eat out. So the teacher doesn't actually have to read your answer. She can look at the flowchart and she'll know you know the answer. Will give you extra brownie points with teachers. And I know that because my mom has been a teacher and she was always happy when there were small diagrams with her, because she was a science teacher. So if there are small neat diagrams around the corner, she'll just be happy, like this child knows what he or she is writing. So
that was the same thing you told me last year, and I made all the diagrams last year.
You made too many. But that's a good thing, If you're able to convert your answer into a flowchart or a diagram or maybe just pointers, tuck, it is good. It's a good way of representing your paper. It also gives the long paragraphs a break. Teachers have to read the entire paper and then mark you on that. Make their life easy. And then you will get those marks.
So, I have a last question.
Okay.
Like when I finish the exam and I've done something wrong, like kids start discussing when they get outside the hall. and then I get to know, oh, I've done this wrong and this wrong. Then I obviously feel disappointed, but then reality kicks in. Like, I'm coming home to not just a normal mother, a strict mother. You. And I know Nani was also strict. So, like, how did you deal with that so I can deal with it after the exams? I've never gotten a question wrong.
Of course, I got many questions wrong. Everybody gets it wrong. It's normal, it's natural. You prepare your mind like that, that I am going to do my best. But whatever happens, happens. So it has happened to me a lot of times. But yes, Nani was strict, but there's always one thing that she told me, and that has always been in my mind. And I want you to know that also, and to you guys also, that those 3 hours are the reflection of your 6 months hard work of that particular subject. So if you're giving a maths exam and you go in for those 3 hours, what you have studied for 6 months, you are going to be tested on that for those hours. Once the time is over, it's over. You cannot go back in time and change anything. Okay? And this one exam, anything that can go wrong, anything that goes wrong is not important at all once it's over. Before the exam, it's very important. Once you've done it, it's not important. So as soon as you are out of the examination hall, you tell yourself, I'm done. It's over. On to the next. That is how life is. That is why I told you that exams are mini battles that you have to face before the real game begins. Because you have to understand goods and bads, highs and lows. You may do very well in one exam and the next you will just be blank. You can go blank in the paper also, no? So you don't have to fear. I am strict and I am going to be like that. I'm not changing that. But understand, as I've always told you, not just today, I have been telling you this, that once it's over, don't feel the pressure of what anybody will say, even me. Because for me, you are the most important thing. Not marks, not exams, not anything else, you. And it's not like one exam can change or make your life. It's never like that. It's one after another after another. You must have understood the concept. Exams तो आते रहते हैं. कभी weeklies आ गए, sometimes revisions, sometimes main exams. थोड़े बड़े हो जाओगे, entrance exams. Life is such. Life is an exam. So never, never ever fear your parents. You should always feel confident about going back to your parents, telling them everything that you feel so that they can comfort you. Understand? I don't think I've ever made you feel that when you come back and you tell me, Mom, ये तो मैं गलत करके आया हूँ, what is my first reaction?
बेटा हो गया तो हो गया, पर ये गलत तो किया है आपने.
हाँ, ये गलत तो किया है आपने.
So thanks for all the wisdom you've given me and for telling all the stuff that's helped you pass.
Pass? No. Done well. Yeah.
You've answered all my questions.